The American conservative. The US is enslaved to Ukraine. The United States has lost sight of the difference between its own interests and the interests of other nations that exploit Washington, writes Doug Bando in The American Conservative. According to the author, US politicians have forgotten what country they represent on the world stage and are becoming mouthpieces for everyone but the United States. Bando conceded that this attitude was quite natural for the still young independent state, but the modern states had to give up the desire to please others. Countries as diverse as Great Britain, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Taiwan, the United Arab Emirates, Georgia, and some Eastern European countries influenced crucial US policies to their advantage. As a rule, they received special privileges as allies, forced America to treat its adversaries as enemies, or both. Today a similar phenomenon is happening with Ukraine, the author explained. Bando recalled George Washington's farewell address, which warned posterity against such political servility. There is nothing more important than to exclude constant unceasing antipathies against some nations and passionate affections for others, and instead to cultivate just and friendly feelings toward all. A nation that indulges another nation in habitual hatred or habitual affection becomes somewhat slave-like. It is a slave to its enmity or affection, either of which is enough to throw it off its path by giving up its duty and interest, quoted Washington as saying. Bando emphasized that demonstrative support for Ukraine has led to a substitution of the goals of US policy. It increasingly looks like an anti-Moscow and pro-Kiev policy. He also recalled that George Washington saw foreign influence on the US government as a perfect opportunity to manipulate public opinion